Here we go, video shoot number one. This is the front of the Barry Strand's home. We're working on here. Seeing what we're doing with the painting, and exciting in a way. Get these columns painted and they look better. Front door, and Pam has happy to have this little, hey, welcome. We're gonna head in, see what's going on. Okay, so this is Mr. Strand's dining room, and here we are taking a look at a project that we're going to do today. And each of these window seats that you'll see in this shot were intended to be wood originally, but I wanted to put granite in place instead. And because I've got some granite pieces, what I'm going to do is show you how to measure and cut a piece for this little window bench seat. So whether it was done in wood or whether it was done in granite, it wouldn't make any difference. But we're going to take this template, cut a piece of granite, and put it in place. How cool is that, huh? So when I built this piece, I decided I wanted something temporarily in place, and so I cut this plywood piece that I could use as a template. So I've got the edges of it nice and square to my woodwork, and that's all I really need to do to make sure I've got the same reveal on both sides. Once I have a piece cut that matches, all I got to do is take my template out and put it over my granite piece. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take the template that I've created, and I've identified which is the exterior side, which is the interior side, and this is the piece that's in the center. And what I'll do, of course, is identify that this size is perfect and this size is tight, and I'm a little shy here on this edge. Using this template piece, I'll lay it over my granite surface, and I'll identify exactly what I anticipate that to be cut to fit my pieces. And then once we cut them off, we'll be ready to go. Now, cutting this is surprisingly simple. I always thought I needed some kind of specialty saw for cutting granite, but actually a circular saw with a specialty blade will do the trick. This wet dry diamond blade works just fine. Now I'll need to keep it wet while I operate, so I'll have water on the surface from my hose that'll keep that blade from heating up too much. Okay, so here's the tool that we're going to be using for polishing and grinding. This is a Makita, and I picked this one up online for about $300, and you'll see that it's water fed. So we'll attach our garden hose to this end. This will be the valve that turns the water supply on, and the water runs then up and comes out the head here and through these little holes. That gives us the ability to keep everything wet and therefore keep it all cool. Really important detail. And of course, just like any grinder, these discs will just spin on. The pads are actually attached with Velcro, and they come in different sizes so that you've got different grits that you can use. Here's a 400, and they'll take them and just simply stick them on this side, and that's your grinding tool, polishing all the way through. I've also picked up this wheel, and this is just a diamond wheel that'll grind granite real nicely and just attaches in the same way. This will spin on and off, and this will give us a really heavy grind. We take off a lot of material. This won't polish anything, but it'll remove lots of stock. Again, the water will get out through the holes, and that keeps everything nice and wet, nice and cool, right? When you tighten these down, of course, I'm just showing them as a reference point, but once I've got the Velcro pad in place, we'll adjust each grit accordingly. And you'll start with the 50 grit and work your way down from there until you get down to the polishing levels. One of the things that this Makita requires is this water supply, and this is a piece made and sold at Home Depot. It just attaches to your garden hose and spins on like you'd anticipate, but this quick release button is sized to then fit onto our Makita end, and it's like any old hose or air tool. Just click it on, it releases, and now we've got water as soon as we release the lever. I got to cut a little bit off the very back side of this one. I'm going to undercut the back as well. Turning it on. It'll be a little bit messy. I'll add some water. Now I begin my polishing. We'll check that. Alright, well, I put my template back on to see that my edges are all lined up. This is perfectly flush to my template location, and I of course got my front nice and tidy. What I've done over here is I've added blue tape to the whole edge because I want to make absolutely certain that when I cut this line I don't have a problem with the saw base scratching my granite. So I'll mark this line out and then I'll cut it. Alright, here we go. Cut with a circular saw. I'll shut the water off. Remove my tape. Now my cut will have a little bit of raggedness. I could have put on a clamp system, but this has worked pretty well in the past. And what I'll do then is I'll simply check it with my template and find out if it's exactly what I want. Oh, and the end. Let's get that lined up. And I'm a little bit long there. That's good. Let's take a little bit off the very back edge where I started my cut, and then I should be just fine. And I'll do that with the grinder. Alright, let's show you some dry grinding here. to test fit my piece, I learned that I'm going to have to take a little bit more off the back edge. I'm going to take the big grinder, do that. That piece will get in there better. Have to have just back bevel. Now I can add water to this, but since I'm not grounding the face, it's not that important. Alright, so I wanted to show you the detail. We back beveled this back surface here so that'll make it easier to install. Got a little bit of a back bevel on that piece. Alright, so here's the first one. Got that fit in there. What do you think about that, huh? That's pretty cool. Nice tight fit. We got to pull it out yet so we can stain it. And there's a piece of trim that holds the back in place. And then there's the seam. Nice right down there. Beautiful, huh? So, cool. Now, I just have 2 more to go. Okay, so here's the next one that we're doing. We know that we want to be a little bit long on this edge, and that might need to take a little bit off of this one. So again, same thing. We've given ourselves some blue tape. We'll mark our line and we'll make our cut. Number 2. Alright, so here's where we started with the first one. And then we just install the second one. I have to put the back trim on both of these still. And then number 3. Full accent to this room. Really dressing it up and making it feel really cool. And by the way, all of this woodwork was done in the basement. Raised panels created from scrap lumber. It was salvaged off a job site. Kind of cool, I think. Gives it that old house feel, even though this whole entire wall is a new construction build out. Sweet. Crown molding. All the way around the room. Alright, hey you guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you on another one soon. Bye.